Isle Palms Mayor Phillip Pounds just won the runoff for Isle Palms Mayor against current City Council member Scott Pierce by just one vote. I talked one on one with Mayor Pounds for this edition of Quintin's Close Ups. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my YouTube channel and like Quintin's Close Ups on Facebook. Newly elected Isle Palms Mayor Phillip Pounds, welcome back to Quintin's Close Ups.
Hey, Quintin, good afternoon. Thank you as always for reaching out. Always appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome. And I should say newly reelected because obviously you just won the runoff for Isle Palms Mayor by just one vote.
Yeah. A very stark reminder today that particularly a local election, every vote absolutely does count. So, I tell you, Quintin, our turnout for the runoff was pretty incredible. Almost 1,900 votes, I think. On the 4th, we had about 2,100 votes. So, that's just unheard of for a runoff. And we knew it would be close. Maybe not quite this close, but, just have to win by one.
One by one. You talk about that one vote. You talk about obviously the numbers being as high as they were for the runoff and for the general election. Where exactly on the island did you get most of your votes from?
Most of my, we have 3 precincts out here, Quintin, kind of north, middle, and south. So the middle is probably from 21st Avenue to 42nd Avenue-ish, kind of right in the sweet middle spot of our island. That's where I actually pulled the most votes and had the biggest lead out of the 3 precincts. The 2 precincts on either end of the island, I think me and my opponent, I think we were within 10 to 15 votes on each of those precincts, but the middle is where I was up. I can't remember the exact numbers, maybe 100 votes at any point in time. So, obviously it had to be close everywhere, but the big middle of the island, which is our most populated spot on the island, is where I pulled the most votes.
And you talk about your opponent. Obviously, that was Scott Pierce, who is a current Isle Palms City Councilman, and I tried to get him on Quintin's Close Ups, but he declined. But according to WCBD, results show that Pierce picked up 10 votes when those ballots were just counted today, obviously, but it was not enough to overcome your lead. The razor-thin margin also triggered an automatic recount. So when you heard about this recount, what went through your mind then?
Well, we were at the county election board office today and waited around. They really did 2 recounts today. There were 16 provisional ballots, Quintin, and they disqualified one of them, but the other 15 they counted. And to your point, it was a 10-5 race on those particular ballots. So they put those numbers in and did a recount. Then they certified the results, did another recount, a full recount. We were waiting, and the numbers didn't change at all through either recount today. So I think we're final. There is a possibility that Scott and team could file a protest, but that has to happen before 7 o'clock tonight. And there's already a tentative hearing scheduled for 9 a.m. in the morning to deal with the protest if needed.
If needed. And that's exactly what WCBD just reported. But let me ask you this, Mayor. That one vote, this razor-thin, particular race, what was that message, do you believe, the residents sent to you?
Yeah, and Quintin, races are tough, and political campaigning's tough. It's last time I ran, it was about a 50-50 split too. I think I won by, 75 to 100 votes maybe. It should, to me, there's no message. I'm mayor-elect, Quintin, so we will go forth and conquer as hard and as fast as we can. But last time it was roughly 50-50. This time it's roughly 50-50, and I think that's just the way small municipal elections go typically.
Typically, you want to conquer and you want to do it fast. So what do you want to conquer next in your second term relatively fast?
Yeah, so Quintin, we have 3 big projects that have been in the permitting phase for quite some time. So they're all teed up and really just waiting on permits from the various, acronym agencies that have to approve things for us, either at a state or a federal level. So we've got a drainage project that's ready to go. We've got our beach renourishment project that's ready to go. Our second phase of the Waterway Boulevard path that you and I've talked about a couple of times is ready to go. So all of those are waiting on permits. We've got financing for all of that. We will do bids hopefully end of the year, first part of 2026, and can get all of that going and or done in the first half of 2026. So, those have been in planning stages for quite some time, but I'm ready to see those get to fruition. We're pushing hard, at least on the state agencies that need to approve those 3 different projects. Hopefully we'll get, wrestle those out pretty quick and can get going on them early 26.
And I know, obviously, you just wanted to run off for Alva Palms mayor, but how do you want to work with your opponent next on city council on these issues?
Yeah, so we have 2 new council people coming in, 2 incumbents coming back. Scott certainly gets to keep his seat on council. So, we'll kick off with a retreat and kind of a strategy session, if you will, in early January. Quintin, our new council people don't get sworn in until the first week in January, unlike some of the other municipalities around. But we'll do a day of an offsite, a little bit of team building, some training, some goal setting. So, to me, that's kind of the launch point, if you will, for the year and kind of setting the tone for this next council coming in. We have one more meeting later this year in December, kind of a perfunctory meeting, but really we'll kick things off pretty hard in January.
And what else do you want to kick off in January from a city government standpoint?
Yeah, I guess the other thing we have in front of us, Quintin, and you've read and seen, and I think we talked about it last time too, is our first responder pay structure, and we've got a wage study that'll hopefully be wrapped up shortly after Thanksgiving. We need to take action on that pretty quick in the new year. We need to make sure we have good data before we go forward and do any changes as far as pay structure or pay scales or whatever. But that one is certainly at the top of mind. For me, and I know other council members as well, that we need to tackle that very quickly in the new year. And once we get that study back.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I know you're busy, so I thank you so much for your time. Newly reelected Alva Palms Mayor Phillip Pounds, thank you for your time here on Quintin's Close Ups.
All right, Quintin, I hope we will have the opportunity to do this again.
Oh, yes, absolutely.